Hey everyone, and welcome to This Explainer. Whether you're hanging out in our Substack community or you're tuning in directly on the website, I am absolutely thrilled to have you with us. Today, we are cracking wide open the San Francisco real estate market. We've put together the ultimate 2026 Insider's Playbook to cut right through all the noise and complexity, giving you just the direct, clear facts. Look, San Francisco is a uniquely competitive landscape. If you're looking to buy here, you need way more than just hope. You need a rock-solid strategy. So let's just dive right in. I want to start by framing our whole conversation today around this quote you're seeing. The right home is a combination of financial comfort, lifestyle fit, and long-term value. I feel like this perfectly sets the tone for us. Buying a home in the Bay Area, it's not just a matter of throwing a massive budget at a wall. It really requires a grounded, sophisticated approach where your daily lifestyle completely aligns with smart, long-term financial planning. All right, here is our roadmap. First, we'll look at the 2026 market landscape. Then, the new rules of representation, navigating SF property types, financing and due diligence, the winning offer strategy, and finally, escrow and neighborhood selection. Okay, part 1, the 2026 market landscape. So, what are we dealing with out there right now? Buyers are facing a highly competitive landscape with incredibly tight inventory in prime neighborhoods. But there is definitely opportunity to be found. You actually have real negotiating room when you look at condos and TICs compared to single-family homes. Also, keep in mind that this market is super disclosure heavy, and that list price you see, it's really just a starting point. At the end of the day, what really matters are the comparable sales. Moving right along to part 2, new rules of representation. Okay, the crucial point is right here. California now legally requires a written buyer-broker agreement before you can even tour a property with an agent. Why does this matter to you? Well, it creates full 100% transparency around representation and compensation right from the jump. The agreement clearly outlines the scope of services and your timeline. And while compensation is now fully negotiated and transparent, it's worth pointing out that it is still not customary for buyers to pay this out of pocket, because seller concessions frequently step in to cover those costs. All right, part 3, navigating SF property types. So let's talk about TICs. That stands for tenancy in common. And by the way, locals always pronounce it TICs, never call them TICs. It's basically a form of shared property ownership that offers a highly accessible, much lower purchase price compared to a standard condo. But you have to be aware of the trade-offs. It comes with shared maintenance, specialized financing, and honestly, a less predictable resale market. You also really have to navigate some very specific rules if you ever plan on renting the unit out. Now, what's really fascinating here is the clear lifestyle trade-off between your other major options. Condominiums give you clear legal separation, plus an HOA that handles all that annoying exterior maintenance. But you're trading that convenience for expensive monthly dues and some pretty strict rules. On the flip side, single-family homes give you the ultimate privacy, no shared walls, total control over your remodeling dreams, but they are absolutely the most expensive properties to buy, maintain, and pay taxes on. You might also think about multi-unit buildings, which are fantastic for wealth building and rental income, though they definitely require active, hands-on landlord management. Part 4, financing and due diligence. Listen, I literally cannot stress this enough. In San Francisco, due diligence happens before the offer. You do not just throw a bid in and try to figure it out later. No way. Before making a move, you've got to review seller disclosures, natural hazard reports, permit histories, and even underground sewer lateral compliance. You also need to spot risk factors early on. We're talking things like HOA reserve shortages, soft story seismic vulnerabilities that might require an earthquake retrofit, and of course, local rent control implications. Because of this super intense upfront process, your financing strategy has to be bulletproof. First off, get fully underwritten. Not just pre-approved, but fully underwritten. That signals absolute certainty to listing agents. Pair that with a trusted local lender to give your bid even more weight. From there, just make sure your monthly payment actually fits your comfort zone. And definitely explore using those seller concessions we talked about to negotiate rate buydowns. It can really ease the financial burden. Which brings us to part 5, the winning offer strategy. Winning a home in SF is really all about presenting a clean, confident package that marries the right price with the right terms. You need to know exactly when to waive your contingencies and when to hold on to them. Shortening your timeline so you can close faster, that will absolutely win you deals. Now, you might be tempted to jump the gun and make a preemptive offer before the official offer date. While they do exist, you should know that most sellers just reject them, knowing the open market usually yields a better result for them. Instead, lean into tactics like seller rentbacks. Offering a seller that kind of flexibility is a massive competitive edge. Finally, Part 6, Escrow and Neighborhood Selection. I absolutely love this quote. Escrow is essentially project management with deadlines. Good preparation reduces stress. Escrow has this terrible reputation for being a nail-biting, stressful experience, but we really need to reframe that. It's actually a highly logical, manageable process where your agent is effectively just project managing all the moving parts for you. This project management involves a very clear sequence. Step 1, delivering your initial deposit. Then moving right through the loan and appraisal process and binding your insurance. Once you complete the final walkthrough and review those closing disclosures, the sale is recorded and you finally get your keys. The big secret here is just constant communication. Your agent handles the inspectors, the lenders, and the title officers on your behalf, so you are never left in the dark. Of course, all of this brilliant strategy is totally meaningless if you aren't looking in the right location. While the city officially recognizes 36 neighborhoods, any local will tell you there are over 70 distinct micro-neighborhoods. Whether you're looking at iconic spots like Pacific Heights and the Castro, or chasing that quintessential residential charm in No Valley, you really have to evaluate your neighborhood strategy. Look at how the market behaves in that specific area. Evaluate your transit and walkability to Muni or BART. Keep a close eye on the development pipeline. Is that nearby construction signaling rising property values, or just years of loud disruption? You're looking for a long-term value trajectory and, above all else, the right lifestyle fit for the noise and activity levels you want. And that brings us to our final and honestly most important question of all. Where do you want your daily life to happen? Before you even start talking about loan underwriting or inspection contingencies, take a step back. Reflect on your timeline, your budget, your long-term plans, and the community character you actually crave. Buying in San Francisco is entirely possible with the right playbook, but it all starts with you defining your perfect day. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Definitely keep this playbook handy, and I'll catch you in the next one.